Sorry, and that is all I am.
She is still there. How long has it been? Yeah, that would numb you. You'd be a little bit mindless after this. It'd break you down. What kind of person does he have to be sitting across from her and being okay with it and having the endurance to do that too? God.
But you still don't mean it.
Yeah, wow. Maybe a combination of the light, the dark, the monotony, maybe the words affecting the chip too. Right, so she is allowed to go out. Well, she has to, right?
We'll try again in the morning.
Really? Yeah, do we feel different about each other now?
See you tomorrow, Helly.
God. And it's just gonna open. Yeah. Hell.
I read it 300 times yesterday.
Wow.
What the hell is that voice?
Oh. A voice faintly in the background. Can't hear what it's saying. It's just kind of there, disembodied. I mean, is it The Office? Is it like sounds filtering through from the other guys? Subtly, I think that is something that inspires fear, right? Break it. Another thing used in this room to break her down in this process.
And only in Beach Tell their stay live on.
Damn. Or maybe even the voice wasn't there to start with, but it is there now. Is that some triggering of the chip? Is it something like Egan in the back? I don't know, man.
I really am sorry, okay?
Yeah. This makes you genuinely sorry. I don't know, guys. I feel like we should come up with a plan and get out of here. Hiding it away. Okay, for now. Yeah. What are you gonna do? While you're in there, mate, you might as well squeeze out a poo, because, you know what I mean, you can't be making decisions with that in you. Makes you impatient, dude. That's all I'm saying. You're not your best self.
It's past 1100, and Helly's been in the break room since yesterday.
Okay.
Let's go help her.
Department Chief, you feel you should check on her progress?
Is he allowed?
Well, Mark doesn't have that power.
Right?
Well, he can ask.
He's not going to.
He might.
That's so interesting that, oh, walking, it's all happening. Sorry, it's interesting that Irv's saying that, actually showing a little bit of compassion, a little bit of care. And it's funny, right? Look, up until this point in the show, I've given Irv a lot of stick. I have. But it is because he is the one most under the thumb of the company, right? And I'm curious as to, I'm not sure, hang on. Dylan. I'm still not sure as to how long Dylan's been here, but at least for now, I'm assuming Irving's been in here the longest. Not sure, but maybe that's why. Maybe his personality type, I don't know, just takes to this a bit quick. Don't know. It doesn't matter, really. Point being, it's interesting that he keeps kind of coming to mind. He doesn't want the power. You know, we saw that in another episode. I kind of was asking, why don't you want to be in charge? Why aren't you being put in charge? You seem as if you'd fit the mold. But he verbally said, I don't want it. But now that Mark's in charge, he keeps kind of going up and whispering to him and being like, I think you should do this in perpetuity. Last episode, we went to the perpetuity wing because Irv kind of came in and said, Mark wouldn't have done that on his own. The more actually where, episode 4, I'm actually kind of more interested in Irv's character now, which is really interesting because he does feel almost like a one-note character, but he's not. There is more under the surface with him. And also with Petey's flash to the office, he walked into the bathroom and he, in the past at some point, was proposing a mixer, which is very, now he's like, no waffle parties, that's not why we're here to work. But in the past, he was talking about mixers, still with elements of the Irv that we recognize because he was talking about the handbook, right? Oh, it doesn't strictly say in the handbook we can't. So anyway, sorry, point being, it's interesting that he is prompting Mark and there's empathy coming from him there. And last episode we had, the teeth wall, the smile wall, whatever you want to call it. And we saw the fervor with which he talks about the company. It would be so interesting seeing someone like him being broken or shown that he's got things wrong. And actually the company is not so great or something. And that's what I mean by broken. Break that down. And I think actually in amongst all that or underneath all that, there is a good person there. And he is just the product of brick by brick built up around his personality, his self, is the company.
Hi.
Chill.
So sorry to interrupt.
It's very polite of you, mate. That's probably a wise decision with him there.
Hi, Irving.
Hi, Bert. Well,
Exactly how the do you know where this
Dylan.
office is?
Princess Morales came here once. She'd left directions.
Give us them reversed. What can we do for you, Bert?
Thank you. Well,
Yeah, go on, Bert. Come on, lay it on us.
being excited. The new handbook totes, and
Oh,
maybe you were kidding or teasing.
No, not at all.
oh, he wasn't.
Okay, good. I've been fretting, though, because you mentioned the anticipation could distract from your work. So I figured, heck, bring them over now.
Hello, a treat.
You brought pre-release handbook.
You're a special friend, Irving.
Long hike back to O&D.
Stay for a cup of coffee.
To extend an invitation. Again, I know you work hard, so if an informal tour of O&D ever sounds refreshing, personally offer that to Irving and any one of you.
Hey, lending out a hand. I love that.
Hard pass.
Dylan, you stay here, mate. All right, come on. Let's just get rid of this animosity. Okay, let's come together, be friends.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, we were very close from whispering that in his ear. Do you know what I mean? Almost like a lover's caress, I'd like to say.
Seems soon to be taking him up on his offer.
Irving, straight on with the jacket. I love it.
It's absurd. We've never visited them before now.
Could wait for Helly though. I feel like we forgot about her quite quick there.
I'll be back by 1.
Oh, just Irving. Okay.
He's gonna die.
Nah, he's too stubborn for that, mate. Oh God, Helly. I mean Helly. Wait, what?
How many times?
Ooh, 600.
1072.
I thought I went high, dude. God damn. This isn't okay. Sorry, like any of this is. Oh, they're all about maps, aren't they? You gotta be. Yeah, do you know what? I'm actually quite happy that we've got a character confused by these corridors. They're human. We love that.
What about the voice behind the door?
Crying baby, you mean?
Oh, is it different for everybody?
Like the angry mumbly guy.
Okay. Different for everybody.
Really not supposed to talk about the break room. You know, the important thing is you apologize correctly. Now you're out.
Coffee! Nice, Mark.
What you gotta do is trick the machine by thinking about something you're really sorry about.
Oh, wow.
Imagine my Audi's love maid with a MILF or two. Bad, but I do pity the husbands.
Good for you. Wow. Dylan cheating the system. Okay. This would be me. We're not supposed to talk about the break room. Again, not allowed to communicate about things, you know? Not allowed to come together, brainstorm, because if we do that, we work stuff out. We cheat the system. Dylan comes in with some knowledge, helps her out. She gets to cheat the system. Or you have them coming together and being like, this isn't okay. Let's unionize, you know? Let's get together. And that's not what they want. That's not what the company wants, right? They don't want you to come together. They want you apart so they can control you better. Pay you what they want, treat you how they want.
Break room sucks. That's why we have protocols and procedures, so we don't end up there.
That's why we have protocol and procedure. Making protocol and procedure like a band-aid, like a plaster, to make everything better. Even though it's the protocol and procedures that are part of the issue. So funny how quite often already in this show, things that have potential and do harm the people involved are being manipulated into seeming good things. I'm talking about, you know, like Irving in the, room with the trees and stuff and the wellness check. Looks to be very nice. Look, it's not though. And actually it's quite unhealthy, it's quite harmful. Especially in the way that the lady was talking about, like, no, you gotta treat everything the same, all that. Like, there's so many examples of that. Let's chat, yeah? Ooh.
It's Irving B. from Macro Data Refinement.
Did you beat Christopher here? Got it all together, man.
Bert's over there by shelf 6. Don't touch anything.
Okay.
Felicia and I make do.
Felicia. Is that a Christopher Walken thing or an American thing? I'm actually genuinely asking, because I would say Felicia. You know what I mean? Is that a kooky Walken thing? Or what? Like, where are we at? I don't know with him. I can never tell.
I'm sure it's easier than what you MDR kids get up to all day.
Oh, you flatter, you?
I actually cried when you guys put up the youthful convalescence of Kiev.
Do you know what? This is interesting too. The fact that Irving is taking an interest in art. What is art? They don't have that here. This is work. Right? And yes, I know art can obviously be work, but you know what I'm saying in the sense of there's that, you know, I think quite a prevalent social debate of how valuable are the arts. Governments, we've had in the UK when we had the Conservative government, especially after, you know, lockdowns and stuff and the whole getting people back to work, there was a push of, you know, the arts have to suffer, you know, get people back into kind of more traditional, conventional jobs away from the arts. And then you have a lot of people kind of coming up, kind of fighting against that that or talking against that, saying the arts are important, the arts are humanity, that's where we are naturally meant to go or driven to, and lots of interesting debates, lots of interesting discussions on that. I have always been into the arts, so I very much, you know, kind of come down on one side, or at least I very much see the value, the importance of the arts. And I think sometimes in the world that we have today, this corporate world that we have today, I think the arts are seen less and less as something to be valued in the way that perhaps they should be by everybody, right? And, you know, I think art as well has been monetized. I mean, you've got Hollywood now, and, you know, these are conversations that I've had doing, you know, this channel and talking about film and TV, you know, the state of Hollywood and how a lot of it is, you know, I don't think it's unfair to say is motivated by money. You know, it's not necessarily the creatives in charge of the creative thing, you know, of the art. It is, okay, what makes the most money? And typically, you know, the executives get it wrong because they don't really know, because they're not creatives, right? It is just sequels for the sake of it. It is just remakes for the sake of it. Where is the original work? Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's a huge conversation. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I just bring it up to mention it because, you know, that is where corporatism, capitalism, money, the economy comes in when it comes to the arts and art, right? And sorry, so this is such an interesting thing to me that this place exists. Christopher, I'm sorry, hang on. Bert, they keep saying it, Bert exists. And he's doing this, and they have it. And the fact that Irv is the one taking notice of the art. He's a bit of an art lover. I mean, I was going to say, is he, or is he just into Bert? How far do I want to take that? But before Bert came in that first time we saw him, Irv was just stood admiring the art. So I think that is a genuine thing in him. And like I say, he is the most almost corporate one of the lot in some respects, and he is the one that seems most in tune with art, which is such an interesting dynamic, such an interesting duality in his character, and actually in some ways he's embodying the most human aspect out of all of them because of that. And sorry, like I say, it's such an interesting thing that this department exists. And I did have the thought at the beginning of this scene of wondering actually whether these guys are severed or whether they're here for a purpose too. I'm not sure. I don't trust anything. I'm sorry. I know theories coming out of everywhere, but like no trust. We'll see. But the art conversation is so interesting, especially like I say in relation to work, corporatism, all this stuff, because it tends not to necessarily have as much of a synergistic place in that world, and yet it exists in this ultra corporate environment.
I never thought I'd see the handbook passage depicted visually. Only up for a month or so. What a month.
Oh.
Come here.
Yeah.
Once
Oh, hello.
all art's been cycled through all the departments, it ends up back here.
What'd you do with it? Oh, you just store it.
Where did Felicia go?
Supply run.
Felicia. So it's a walking thing. It's a walking thing, isn't it? But good question. Where does she go? Supply run for what?
Let not weakness live in your veins. Cherished workers, drown it inside you.
Rise up from your deathbed and sally forth.
Workers rise up from your deathbed.
More perfect for the struggle.
Perfect for the struggle. That was very similar to what we saw on What's the Face's wall in her home. What is it about the cuts will heal you? It's very brutal ideas. This idea of the worker is just there to work, and if they suffer, well, that's just part of it, dude. Doesn't matter whether you're on your deathbed or what, you gotta go. Yeah. And Bert is the one who pulled this out and is almost, I don't know, it feels a little bit more conditioning. I don't know, just like an element of the conditioning. Is Irv like an outlier almost of the test? If this is a test. Sorry, I do keep coming back to the idea of a test because I don't know if that is the case. It kind of feels a little bit like these guys are in a petri dish of like, okay, let's see what we can do with people. Irv seems like he's on his own path, actually. I don't know if the other guys have ever had a wellness check. Maybe they have. I don't know. But this is also very unique to Irv. Yeah, we'll see.
I can't believe you have this.
Also interesting that the art is actually promoting this idea of the ultimate work mindset. I know that first picture had him whipping the people on the ground, and Irv was looking at it like, oh, beautiful. You know, it is almost in Irv's mind pushing forth. It's art, it's creativity, you know, this beautiful piece of work, but what it depicts is quite brutal. Same here, same then. And so it is this kind of mix, isn't it? Oh, yeah, come on. I was correct. Gotta be. I love the show for that. Let's go.
Silent. What time is it?
Banging time, sorry.
I have to go.
Hey man, first step. That's all, a little bit of flirting. I'm so happy. I'm not used to shows listening to me with that stuff. It's quite nice. It's quite a release, actually.
I got to 4%.
Yes. Feels good, right?
I guess.
Awesome.
Wow. I feel like we're almost seeing we're almost seeing two stages of the process, because she is so lacking in personality now. She's saying everything deadpan. She's a little bit glassy behind the eyes. Break room, right? And the way that he did that, yes! Hang on. So perfect.
Yes.
That. So, by the way, Adam killing that tone, because that's very much a forced humanity. It's like an amalgamation of what he feels almost like a human should sound like. That's what I mean. They break them down, which is Helly here now, right? This is the first stage, and then they get to here to Mark, and it's like Mark is a product of being broken down and built back up, and the humanity almost plastered over that pale imitation of a human. And so the humanity kind of feels a little fake. It is put on, it is forced, because they've been taught that that is how they should be, as opposed to being taught, okay, this is how I'm allowed to be. There's a very big distinction between those two things. And sorry, I just, the framing here and the way that she was talking, and then the way that he said that line, beautiful imagery of like I say, this process, and scary process.
I guess.
Awesome. I'm glad you agree.
She didn't agree that. She said, I guess. You're gonna get lost, mate. You are not looking at the map. Show me. Oh, he found the book. The UUR. Name of the episode. Okay. No. I mean, that's a very validating book. That is very much something not allowed here, right? Because that's going to shape him. I wonder what effect that's going to have. Might actually build up a little self-esteem.
It's a map of the hallways.
No, it isn't.
I thought we weren't supposed to make maps.
Oh, really? That's a rule.
Something I found. I think Petey made it.
Oh, you didn't turn it in?
Oh.
You're such a hypocrite lecturing me on following the rules.
Hello.
Wellness, management.
Okay, no, so they do all know about wellness.
Rule render not my creation in miniature.
Why?
Huh.
They look like houses, right? Well, maybe they're on the outside and Petey found a way to get to them.
Yeah?
Clearly he was trying to tell you something.
No.
Go lick a boot, Mark. You're more loyal to this place than to your friend.
Yes.
Work is bull.
The work
Yeah.
is mysterious and important. In the way that Kier would have wanted.
Okay.
Together as a family.
What a twisted thing that you just said.
I could not, with a razor to my throat, be less interested in being your family. Your best friend left this for you, and you don't give a shit.
Yeah. Where's the human connection? We are all lacking it, aren't we, in this office space?
You're right.
You should not shred. No.
There, it's gone.
It's an emergency.
Oh, really?
I was going to get Mr. Milchek, but I thought it best not to break the chain of command. Dally not in the scholastic pursuits of lesser men.
No books except the handbook, I know.
I mean, this is on Milchek, to be fair.
Damn.
Mark, what is this?
Oh.
I bet it's a loyalty test. Remember the spicy candy?
I'll be turning this in.
Tell me about the spicy candy. I'm not being funny. They could absolutely blame him for this. He's got his name in it. If it, like, why do you have this? Why is your name in it? It's clearly you, and he gets the blame.
This is an idolatrous text that should be brought to him immediately.
Very culty, isn't it? An idolatrous text. You know, almost religious fervence in Irv there in that line.
Excuse me.
Jesus, Helly!
Whoa.
You're going to give me a video camera so I can tape a resignation to my Audi.
Oh, you'll chop your fingers off, eh?
Explain to her why she's missing 4 fingers.
God damn.
That's just...
It's Cobell.
Let's go.
Yes.
Do I look like I'm around right now?
Yeah, you've driven her to this point.
You do not. Hi, Mark. Catching up with your trainee.
Game of chicken. Who blinks first, eh?
Could you get the video camera, please?
There's no guarantee they send this to your outside self, mate. This is the issue. I wouldn't put that down, mate. Yeah, the little message about self-harm and then that does put you in a bit on edge, I'll admit. Wow, okay.
Guess this is the part where I should tell you to go to hell. Except you're already here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're definitely not getting out, mate. There's so much that can go... Like, you have no power. Oh. Really?
Hallie,
Let's see it.
I watched your video asking that I resign.
Really? Wow.
I also received and responded to your previous request.
Really?
Would resolve the issue, but now Miss Cobell says you threatened to cut off your fingers.
Wow.
I understand that you're unhappy with the life that you've been given.
Sentenced with, but sure.
But you know what? Eventually we all have to accept reality. So, here it is.
What can you do? I'm so surprised that they...
I am a person. You are not. I make the decisions.
Wow.
You do not.
That's next level.
And if you ever do anything to my fingers, know that I will keep you alive long enough to horribly regret that.
I'm not being funny. This makes me chop my fingers off, dude.
Your resignation request is denied.
You know, I'm so surprised that if they do actually send them out, like the resignation requests and blah, blah, blah. At the same time, there's part of me that's like, is that real? They have the technology to do what they're doing with Severance. AI is a thing. Yeah, pinch of salt with that. And we've very specifically not been shown outside Helly. I don't really know much about her at all. And when she went out that door, there was genuine concern on outside Helly's in her voice, on her face when she was talking about, oh, I don't want to be in there, do I? I don't know if that matches up with that I just saw. So I am immediately suspicious of this. I'm not entirely convinced that is actually outside Helly. Let's assume for now that it is. I'm not going to talk too much about it though, because like I say, I don't know if that is the case. I mean, what more is there to say? That's disgusting. That's horrible. And I mean, I think I've touched on the whole, like, you are not a person in here before. I've talked through it. I'm not going to keep, wasting everyone's time by keep going over it. But yeah, this makes me chop my fingers off, dude. It's war. It's war between the two of you. War between the two Hellys. And unfortunately, what outside Helly is talking about is true. It seems to be. She's got all the power. She's got all the rights. It doesn't matter what the inside one wants. All you can do as the inside Helly here is make it so hard and cause so much anarchy in this office space. Do what you got to do to make it to the point that Milchek and Cobell don't want you here. And the company don't want you here. And then they got to tell outside Helly it's not working out. That's your only move. Surely. I'm sorry, mate. That's rough, though.
How much of this was Rickon's idea? 300% or 400%?
It's got him all over it, hasn't it?
You know what? I think I might have some more snark in me.
May never let go of the snark.
Okay, sure, fine.
Man, the subtitles had her as sibling. Now at this point, I'm like, is she even real? Man, what's real? I don't even know. Right, so he has gone. Confirmed. Oh, is that what they want us to think and they've put him somewhere? I don't know. Maybe in the Lumen basement, I wonder. Okay, you gotta pick that up, man.
Have you heard from the board yet?
No.
It wasn't your fault, Harmony.
If you want a hug, go to hell and find your mother.
Jesus.
Jeez. Yeah.
It's Petey reintegrated.
The board's never acknowledged reintegration.
Right.
Enough to get his chip.
Right, so reintegration is definitely a thing.
Corpse is scheduled to be destroyed by cremation following his funeral on Sunday.
Okay, so he is dead. Yeah, that's a reintegrated chip, right?
Wit, cheer, nimbleness.
Mantra. Egan? Sounds very much like Tempers to me. Wiles, what have you got cooking up, mate? Oh, Petey. One love, dude. Oh, God.
Well, on the upside, at least now we both have a date.
Wow.
I think I might swing by the bathroom, but...
Where's June? Is June here? Ah, June. Okay. You got a face for the name.
You're from Lumen, so you didn't even know him at all.
Not really.
It's nice to meet you.
What have they got to say? Oh, hello. Talky talk. Did Petey visit her?
At work.
Oh, you're one of those.
Do you ever think that maybe the best way to deal with situation in your life isn't to just shut your brain off half the time.
Hello, good. Let's talk about that. She has a point.
I'm not exactly sure.
Okay, you're wavering. Fair play. Oh, Petey was cool. Of course he was. Oh, hello. Off you go. Wow. Going straight in, huh? Yeah, I mean, he's having more and more contact with the vision or seeing Petey, isn't he? Kind of just waiting now for it to have some kind of effect. Are we gonna get like natural reintegration? Like is Mark gonna kind of, I don't know, is that why they're not supposed to have any outside contact with the people in there? Do they start to like their mind, their thoughts, do they naturally kind of start to clash? Maybe reintegrate in a maybe more natural, organic way. Wow, tweezers. Mate, you'd have to be so accurate with those. Is he gonna catch Cobell, do you think? Oh, please catch her. You can see in that room, right? What do you... Oh, god damn it. Oh man, we were so close.
So was the funeral just too sad, or?
Yeah, she's poking. Just going for a drive, or is there something out here? Maybe somewhere you and your wife went. June did mention in the funeral, like, you know, maybe it's not the best thing to do. He was like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's spurring something in him. Or a graveyard. His wife. Oh, a car accident. This is where it happened. Yeah. Hey, maybe some element of him confronting it, which is an attempt to heal. An attempt to, yeah, come up against it and deal with it, which is more than he's been doing. Great stuff, mate. Well done. He's been rejecting his humanity because he's had to, right? To feel it, to feel everything, is to embrace his humanity. And by throwing away his humanity, well done, mate, hey. Adam smashing this. Yeah, to put himself in that place has probably made it much easier to justify Severance. What a mission. Damn.
How did you...
Yes?
Oh, hello. Haven't seen you in a while.
You requested me, Miss Cobell? I'd like you to run a special wellness session with Marcus.
Really?
You requested me, Miss Cobell?
I love how she delivered that. There was a little fear at the end of that sentence as she kind of did like an intake of breath.
Me, Miss Cobell?
That fear.
What's the problem?
Talking back.
Just needs it. Trust me.
Oh. We've seen so many of these corridors and barely any of them have had paintings on them, no?
Is it awful to say I don't care for that one?
No. It makes me nervous too.
Oh, the freedom.
Such a lovely vista, but I keep thinking.
Go on.
He could slip.
So interesting. That picture I was talking about, what the paintings that they liked depicted previously. What does that depict? Freedom, space, the promise of nature, which is not what they have here. It's overwhelming to a mind that has only known this, you know. I mean, if you set them free at this point, right, from this cage they're in, there would be a lot of confusion, a lot of fear, a lot of trepidation. And I think that's why, when they look at this, it unnerves them. Not because of him slipping, because it's an open vista and it represents freedom. It represents the outside world, a place that is foreign to them. And something that I would compare, we had all the lockdowns in 2020, and what did we get then? So many people talking about, I mean, you know, look, I'm not obviously going to walk all over or diminish how hard that was for people, and everyone dealt with that in their own way, and that's fair. I'm not saying that that situation wasn't validly hard for a lot of people, but there was a conversation going around about people not being able to carry on with their life, going to work, right? Everyone was kind of free. To a point, you know, there were still restrictions. You know, you couldn't necessarily congregate in a park or go to restaurants and etc., right? It was a life to a point. It was freedom to a point. But there was a lot of people who didn't quite know what to do with themselves if they didn't get to go to work. And it was, I think, a lot of people getting to sit with themselves for a long time in silence for the first time. You know, it was people being like, okay, now you kind of have to get in touch with yourself and what can I do with this time that's been given to me? And I think a lot of people panicked with that idea of that kind of freedom. Well, I don't have to get up and go to work anymore. I can read a book. I can play a game. I can learn to cook. I can learn to draw. I can learn an instrument. You know, all of these things that we didn't have time for. And I think a lot of people, and you know, look, a lot of people did do those things and flourished for it and learned new skills. Right. But I think a lot of people struggled with it. And I think it's a similar thing as we're getting here. And that's how I think, apply it to our world, this element to the show of work becomes our life to the point that actually we do start to lose some of our humanity for it, because when we don't have work, we don't know what to do with ourselves. And how crazy is that? What a crime that is. And the reason I mention lockdowns is because we have evidence for that, right? I'm not just pulling it out of nowhere. I'm not just theorizing. It's what happened, I think, for a lot of people. Because I think, you know, going back to the arts and that conversation, to my mind, my opinion, us as humanity on this earth, I think we're drawn to art, naturally. Every one of us, whether we make it or partake in it or just enjoy it. I think everybody has some horse in that race. I think it is possibly one of the most natural, organic things that humanity ever does. Something that is so intrinsically linked to our existence. And I think it's so interesting that we get that earlier in the episode. Now we get this and this element of, like I say, freedom outside of work. And there's this element of unsurety, of fear. With the thought of that, the fear, and amalgamate all of that information together, and what you get this fear of our inner humanity, this fear of confronting ourselves, this fear of discovery, of discovering who we actually are, what we actually want, and what we would ever do if that freedom was afforded to us, and the fear of confronting that, learning ourselves. And it's so interesting that we got last episode, was it Egan talking, was it Keir? The first one, talking about the controlling your tempers. And that's almost what I'm saying, but in a twisted way, in order to manipulate capitalism and this infrastructure to bend it to your will to thrive in a certain way. It's to engage in what I'm saying, but in the corporate world. But what I'm saying is that I feel like that process should lead to our happiness outside of the corporate world. They're kind of similar in certain ways, but I think what he was talking about last episode was, like I say, a bit of a twisted, darker version of that. You know, corporatism and capitalism and work, it's a twisted version of humanity for that, I think. And, you know, look, this isn't to even go into the conversation of people who like rigidity, who like structure, who need that, and who prefer to work than have, you know, ultimate freedom of like, okay, I've got to decide everything, and that's fair too, you know. This isn't a one-size-fits-all thing, but I think, you know, talking generally about it, I just think that that's how this corporate world that we have in the show and today in our world manipulates humanity, and not for the better, honestly, a lot of the time.
I embarrassed myself.
You didn't.
Nice.
Unless you did. Are you embarrassed?
No.
Nice.
Good.
Baby steps. This is fine.
I have 4 more stops.
Let's go.
Would MDR consider joining me?
MDR would.
Hello. We got a love story.
I wish I could nap. Just means you're a party guy, Disco King. I know the handbook, old man. I'm more of a first edition guy.
Oh, what was in the first edition?
Original word of Keir.
Really?
And I shall whisper to ye, dutiful through the ages. In your noblest thoughts and epiphany shall be my voice. You are my mouth, and through ye I will whisper on.
I mean, his original words, and I mean, how twisted have they become by those that came after? In your noblest, I mean, that gives you freedom. In your noblest thoughts and epiphany shall be my voice. Irv said, I don't understand. Well, no, of course not, because that goes against everything you've been taught. In your noblest, I mean, that gives you freedom. In your noblest thoughts and epiphanies shall be my voice. My voice is your voice. Your voice. Your noblest thoughts and epiphanies shall be my voice. It's passing. That, at least to me, seems as if he's passing the autonomy to them. But it could also mean the opposite. I just don't know enough about him yet. Keir, you are my mouth. I shall whisper to ye, dutiful through the ages. No, that's almost like he's claiming their noblest thoughts and epiphanies as mine. It shall be my voice because I've whispered to you. And your noblest thoughts and epiphanies are mine, my mouth, my voice. That's, no, sorry. And maybe noblest, noble definition of that is his, whatever that is to him. You are all my soldiers, injected with my words, my teachings.
And through ye, I will whisper on.
Yeah.
He doesn't just speak to us. Through the handbook, he finds other ways.
Think you need your job, but I've lived abroad as a vagrant.
Oh, hello.
Your job needs you.
You don't need it.
Not the other way around.
Hello. How funny we get the words of Keir saying, all one voice, you are all mine, you are copies of me, you speak with my voice, my word, the gospel of God, and I am God. A cult, a religion of work. He's reading this that goes against that. Blasphemy. It's getting juicier. Mate. Rickon, coming in clutch. Come on. Alright. Do you know what? And actually, who am I? I was wrong. He absolutely got the book. Fair enough. Wrong one. Wrong mark. But hey, maybe the right mark, actually. Yeah, maybe Milchek is the mole, you know. Maybe we saw him put it down. It wasn't really on purpose, like a purposeful thing.
See you soon.
For real, yeah. Oh god. Okay. I mean... Oh.
Knew it.
Oh, hello, the candle. The candle!
Sometimes I ask people to sculpt.
His wife's candle. Wait, hang on, what? Sorry, I was looking at the candle, but she said something about clay.
Sculpt how they feel out of clay.
So interesting, because they are clay being sculpted. I've said that before. She burning his wife's candle to try and soothe him. Oh god. Machinery clay, okay. Are we making the paintings here?
These were energy. Of home and of earth.
Oh, how many people?
T is for terror.
Whoa. How many of them? So there's not just 2 of them. Hang on, go back. What is this fresh hell? Copiers, printers, maybe, it kind of looks like. They're making the... What are they here for? Yeah, look, this is what's a Felicia. I mean, is that Bert? Okay. So they're, at the very least, they're lying. And there's not just 2 of them. Yeah, so are we trusting? I mean, I did say I didn't trust Bert. But I did say I felt like maybe they're not severed and they're in on it. Maybe they're pulling him out of the pack, I don't know, for some reason.
For destiny.
The tree that killed his wife. Okay, interesting. He is remembering something. Yeah, okay. Oh god. Oh Helly. Really? We're gonna finish there. Okay. Well, I might have to keep watching. But, descent in the ranks. Yeah, let's see how far it goes. I mean, episode 4 going into episode 5. We, there's not a lot of episodes. We are, the pace is quite quick, I'd say. We are kind of moving, from thing to thing quite quickly. Yeah, I mean, the stuff with Bert, it all just seems more and more like a grand experiment of human manipulation. I don't know. I do very much get the feeling that there's stuff going on that I'm missing, not aware of. Like, I feel like there's a penny drop moment, or a few of them that are gonna come. But yeah, very interesting themes, I think. Discussions of art and the place of art in the workplace, in the world, in life. Irving as a character, I think, is kind of a bit of a dark horse. Really interesting as a character. And hey, I'm all for the Bert and Irv love. Having said that, Bert is not all he seems. So we shall see. But very interesting episode. I think I've said pretty much all I want to say about this episode. It is just kind of curiosity and I want to know more. I want to keep going, So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If this was your first video, you're not subscribed, please do consider doing that down below. Like the video, leave a comment. What did you think of the episode? What are you, what are your thoughts? No spoilers if you could. But thanks as always to my patrons, my YouTube members for your support. Genuinely just thank you. Early access for those who are unaware is down below in the description. I'm probably an episode or a few episodes, I think, probably ahead of this show. If you can't wait for the next one, but don't worry, they will be coming every single Wednesday for free on YouTube anyway. So it's entirely your choice, up to you. But anyway, that was Severance for this week. That was episode 4. Episode 5 coming next week very, very soon. But until then, see ya.